This is the story of Brian Chesky, the man who turned a simple idea of renting air mattresses into Airbnb, a company that changed the travel industry forever. Brian Joseph Chesky was born on August 29, 1981, in Niskayuna, New York. His parents were social workers, and he grew up in a modest household. As a child, Brian loved art, design, and creativity. He was fascinated by architecture and how spaces could influence people's lives. He pursued these passions by studying industrial design at the Rhode Island School of Design. While there, he met Joe Gebbia, who would later become his co-founder. After graduating, Brian struggled financially and was uncertain about his career path. In 2007, Brian and Joe were living in San Francisco. One weekend, a big design conference was coming to town, and all the hotels were sold out. They had an idea. What if they rented out air mattresses in their apartment and offered breakfast to guests? They called it Air Bed and Breakfast. To their surprise, people actually booked the service. This small experiment sparked a much bigger vision, a platform where people anywhere in the world could rent out their homes to travelers. Together with Nathan Blecherchik, they launched Airbnb in 2008. The early days were tough. Investors laughed at the idea. Strangers staying in each other's homes seemed risky. To survive, Brian and his co-founders even sold cereal boxes branded as Obama Oats and Cap McCain's during the 2008 US elections to raise money. But they didn't give up. Slowly, Airbnb started gaining traction as people realized it was cheaper and more authentic than hotels. Travelers loved the unique experience, and hosts enjoyed earning extra income. By 2011, Airbnb expanded internationally, and by 2015 had millions of listings worldwide. What started with 3 air mattresses grew into one of the largest hospitality companies in the world. However, the journey wasn't without challenges. Airbnb faced criticism from hotels, regulatory hurdles from governments, and safety concerns from users. The biggest test came during the COVID-19 pandemic, when travel stopped overnight. Airbnb's business collapsed, and many doubted its survival. Brian Chesky made tough decisions, including layoffs, but he also refocused the company on local stays and unique experiences. Against all odds, Airbnb recovered and went public in 2020 with a valuation of over $100 billion. Brian Chesky became a billionaire, but he remains humble. He often says Airbnb is not just about homes, it's about creating a world where anyone can belong anywhere. From air mattresses in a small apartment to a global travel empire, Brian Chesky's story is one of creativity, persistence, and believing in ideas that others dismiss. This is the billionaire journey of Brian Chesky, the man who reimagined travel. Only on Billionaire Show.